planning for preschool doesn't have to be hard. So I have a template on my Teachers Pay Teachers account. It is a free download. So let's go ahead and download it and I will show you how to use it. All right, so this is my lesson plan template. I'm just going to talk about it and kind of go over how to fill it out, and I'll make an example. So this is the basics of the lesson plan template. The template fits on a single page, which is great for um, if you're trying to keep it short and simple and easy to just glance at. So at the top, this can be used for multiple classrooms. So the classroom, this is a header and a footer. So you can click to edit it. The classroom is whatever, if you have multiple classrooms, whatever classroom you are a part of. The week of, you would put the dates, and then the topic is whatever theme or anything you're doing. And as you type, it'll shift as needed because obviously topic is way over at the end of it. But that's the header. Um, so then the top of the first box in the lesson plan is circle time. And circle time is going to be kind of your group meeting. Usually it's going to be the first group meeting of the day. What you're going to do, and this is where you'll plan out what you're going to do for each circle time. So you can put in books, you can put in any music that you plan to do, you can do mini lessons, or you can just put like one simple thing and um, kind of make up the rest as you go that day. However, you want to fill out your circle time plan, that's for you. Center time. Center time. I avoided putting actual centers in my plan because if for some reason you don't have the same centers that I do, because centers vary across different um, classrooms, everybody has different centers. Of course, everybody has the main few, but they may vary. So instead of focusing on the centers, I put the developmental domains. Now, these are the developmental domains for the state of Florida. And I have added a link in down here for the standards where you can find them. But each standard or each developmental domain, um, you will input your activities for that. So the description over here says add your centered time activities in the boxes below. One or two should suffice each week, and of course in preschool it's very important to revisit. So you're putting 2 in here and you can revisit those as many times as you need to. And if you are wanting to kind of overlap domains, you can indicate that with a little colored star. And each different domain is a different color. I tried to match them as best as possible to the learning domains on the Florida website, but it's not perfect. So physical development, you have active physical play, safety, personal care routines, feeding and nutrition, gross motor development, sensory motor, fine motor development. Approaches of learning or approaches to learning. Um, I think a lot of people tend to forget about these, but these are important as well. So this is eagerness and curiosity, persistence, creativity and inventiveness, and planning and reflection. This is the domain where you're going to have kind of a lot of overlap because you don't necessarily want to plan one activity for it. Social and emotional development, your primary focus is on emotional functioning, managing emotions, building and maintaining relationships with adults and peers, and sense of identity and belonging. Language and literacy, you have listening and understanding, speaking, vocabulary, sentences and structure, conversation, emergent reading, emergent writing. Fifth domain, mathematical thinking, focuses on number sense, number and operations, patterns, geometry, spatial relations, measurement, and data. Scientific inquiry is domain 6, that focuses on scientific inquiry through exploration and discovery, life science, physical science, earth and space science, environment, engineering, and technology. Social studies is 7. The primary focus is on culture, individual development and identity, individuals and groups, spaces, places, and environments, time, continuity, and change, governance, civic ideals and practices, economics and resources, technology, and our world. And then the last domain, creative expression through the arts, is sensory art, music, creative movement, imaginative and creative play, and appreciation of the arts. So those are going to be where you put your centers. And then at the very bottom, you have daily routines, which is going to be anything that you want to practice regularly, such as hand washing. And then at the very, very bottom, if this is something that you need to do or something that you think is important, you can input the standards um, that you would have for each of those domains. So this is what the template looks like, and I'm going to fill out an example so you can see what it looks like. Final thing I will show before moving on to the example, if you click on this link, I have it on another page, but this is fine. So this is the website, really basic. If you scroll down, you can see the domains. You can click on the domains you want to look at, as well as the ages you want to look at. So it has birth through 8 months, 8 through 18 months, 18 to 24 months, 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years, and 4 years to kindergarten. So you can kind of narrow that down by saying, okay, I want all of these domains, but I only want it for 2 and 3-year-olds. And so then it'll show you all those domains for that age group. And then you have the drop downs that'll allow you to see like what they actually are. Or if you just want to see, if you want to see all the ages and you only want to see creative expression through the arts, you will have in the drop downs everything for those different months. So birth to 8, 8 to 18, 18 to 24, 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years, 4 years to kindergarten. So those are all the standards for that area, sensory art experience. So that's kind of how to use the website. Our lesson plan template, I'm going to show you an example of what it looks like when you fill it out. So I'm going to scroll over this way. And this is one of my older lesson plans. This was from 2020, and this was for the classroom Jam and Jellies. That's where I was teaching at the time. And the theme for the week or for the month was colors. Now, the lessons in here are designed for younger kids. I had 1-year-olds at this point in time, so circle times are a little bit shorter, they're less detailed. Obviously, depending on the age you're teaching, you're going to want to update what you have for circle time, what kind of centers you have, what you're focusing on for your daily routines, but just so you get an idea of what that looked like. So in my circle time box, we wanted to keep circle times really short for 1-year-olds. So for that particular week, January 13th, we had the color song on Monday. I don't remember what that was at this point. Probably something from a YouTube video that I'd found. On Tuesday, we read the Winnie the Pooh balloon book. On Wednesday, we did a color freeze dance. On Thursday, the Dino Pals, colors and shapes. And on Friday, teacher's choice, whatever the children enjoyed the most that week, we would repeat it. So if they really got into Winnie the Pooh balloon book, we would reread it. But I would be observing like their behaviors during circle time to see which of those activities were the most enjoyable for them, and we would revisit them. For circle time, you can always revisit things more than once. Of course, in preschool, especially with your really, really young kids, the more you revisit things, the more they stick. Um, for older kids, you might want to add a little bit more detail, like maybe put a book for each day of the week, as well as a couple of songs that go along with it. And again, repeat those things. So if you read a book on Monday, you can definitely reread that same book on Thursday. Um, and, make note of different things that you want to point out in the book. In Winnie the Pooh, for example, if you were reading that book, the first day you might just read through and respond how they react with how the kids react. But maybe the next day you want to point out, since we're talking about colors, you want to point out the colors that you see in the book. What color is Pooh Bear? What color is Piglet? What color are the balloons that Winnie the Pooh has? So you can do different things with circle time, but this just gives you like a quick glance so you know what's going on. Now for the domains and the centers. So this is where you're going to write what your activities are. And like I said over here, you can indicate learning activities that overlap domains with the stars and they're color coded. So over here, so for physical development that week, we did a colored pom-pom drop with wrapping paper tubes. Um, we had colored stickers and food colors that we talked about. Colored stickers is overlapping with, is that green? With green. So that would be language and literacy skills. But colors of food, that's something you can do at lunchtime. Every time of the day is an opportunity for learning. It depends on how you use it. Approaches of learning. So, approaches of learning, if you remember, we're focusing on eagerness and curiosity, persistence, creativity and inventiveness, planning and reflection. So, paint tools, what they do with them, how they're going to use them. Um, Maybe we'll put out different paint tools, try maybe sponges or paintbrushes. Color experiments. We did a lot of mixing colors that week. So we, again, with the revisiting, we put out, one day we'd put out just red and yellow paint. Another day we'd put out just red and blue paint. See what they do with it. See if they can make the connections between the color mixing. And then discovery bags, which are really just like another form of like a sensory bottle or sensory bin, just with, the mess contained basically. Social, emotional, and development, always practicing taking turns. In early childhood, this is also a good point to note that for young children, sharing is generally a little bit above their level of developmental understanding. So instead of trying to emphasize sharing constantly, it really helps to talk more about taking turns. I'll have a turn and then you have a turn. Instead of we're going to share the toy, right now it's his turn and then you can have it after, then it will be your turn. And then again, for young children, always talking about emotions. For language and literacy, we had color books. And then, of course, we had conversations about colors as well. And that's also happening in other centers. Mathematical thinking, Winnie the Pooh balloons. So, again, I don't remember the book, but there must have been some counting integrated into that. We're doing sorting by color activities. Um, when you have a lot of toys, especially with young children, we could just sort the toys by color. Touch and feel colors and shapes. Again, sensory activities that we have. Scientific inquiry, color mixing, and that goes back with our color experiments. Experimenting with color, again, back with our approaches to learning. And then colors in nature, so we could go outside and observe colors. Social studies, favorite colors, and facial features colors that talks about, personal things to the individual child. At this age, they're really focused on learning about themselves, less than they're thinking about learning about the environment around them. So it's really kind of self-centered activities. And then creative expression through the arts. Again, blending colors goes back with that color experiments, winter sticker art. It was January, so you got to throw in a little bit of winter in there. And stickers are really good for fine motor skills. And then color songs, which we included during the week. So if you're filling this out, at the time when I filled it out, I just used simple, basic descriptions because I do try to keep it within like one page. Because usually this is displayed for parents, so parents can come in and see what's going on in the classroom during the week. It's not specified by day, so I can mix and match if I need to. Centers work a little bit differently in like an older infant class, so they're not really divided by where the centers are. But if you're working with older kids, you could put, okay, colored stickers, that's going to be at the art center. And we're going to say discovery bags are at the science center. Just, you can make notes for yourself about which area of the room you want them to take place in. I would also, at the end of, before the week, I would print out a copy of the lesson plan, 2 copies, one to display, one for me. And then as I did things, I would highlight them so that I knew if I'd done them or not. It just helped me keep track of what I had done, how many times I'd done it. And then finally, daily routines. So for us in an older infant room, we wanted to practice hand washing. That's a constant. Self-feeding at meals. They're at that age where, they've been fed by a caregiver and now they're starting to feed themselves. So we want to practice doing that safely, and then following routines and schedules. So those are our daily routines. Now I have indicated the standards here, but that is, I mean, pretty much it. If you wanted to, I used to like at the end of the document, I would like insert a page break and just like make notes to myself, like, okay, color mixing. We're going to um, one day red paint plus blue paint, blue paint plus yellow paint, and yellow paint plus red paint. And actually, I'm going to change that to 3 different days. So then you have 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, but that just tells you, you know, what it is. If you need the note, if you're not really, you know, if you're worried that you're going to forget, or if you like found an idea on Pinterest and you just toss it into the lesson plan template really quick. But that's how you use this lesson plan. Hopefully this template will be helpful. You can download the editable document. I will put the link in the video description. It is on my Teachers Pay Teachers page. It is a free resource, so you don't have to pay for it. But yeah, hopefully this helps you out if you use it. And it does help you out, leave a comment in the video so that I know. Hopefully this makes your life as a teacher a little bit easier. So thank you for watching. Thank you for downloading my lesson plan if you do, and good luck.